Before this video starts, I'd just like to make an announcement. I have the Liberal Tears mug for $14.99 on my website. It is the first link in the description if you want to go pick one up. Don't worry if it breaks when it comes to your house. I'll send you another one for free out of my pocket. I don't care. I want you to get your Liberal Tear mug. It comes in Liberal Tears white with the face, black with the face, white without the face, and black without the face. So pick whichever one you want, and it'll come to your door in about 3 to 5 days. So that should be epic. First link in the description. Thank you. Let's go on with the video.
Okay. So you mentioned how people aren't victims of circumstance.
As a general rule, some people are, obviously.
But how do you explain people who aren't given access to certain things and stuff, and therefore cannot advance? Like, you cite like single mothers and stuff like that, and then fathers leaving them.
Mm-hmm.
And women, oftentimes, you see it all across the country, Planned Parenthood clinics being closed down and stuff, and they can't get access to contraceptives or abortion and stuff that would stop them from being in that situation. But you think that somehow they should just help themselves, but when in fact...
Condoms cost 35 cents. I think they can help themselves. I mean, that's the idea that contraceptives are not available in the United States is absurd. It's absurd. I'm sorry. It's crazy. The idea that you can't get cheap or free condoms anywhere. I don't think that killing babies is the solution to you making bad sexual decisions. End of story. I mean, I don't see why, the unsuccessful decision that you made was the decision to have sex out of wedlock and then get pregnant out of wedlock. That decision is not alleviated by killing the product.
So, since you're going to say mothers are forced to be parents, should you then also incite like laws or something like that, since you're going to force these women to be parents, that force men to be fathers?
Well,
and
there already are. It's called paternity tests.
They're not fathers because they walk out and leave their kids, and then you have this, as you cite.
Yes, absolutely. I'm in favor of that. It's called marriage, and the left undermined it. It was awesome. The system of marriage was the greatest boon to women of all time. And then feminism came along and said that women need men like fish need a bicycle. And it turns out that women need men like women need men.
That's because we live in a society that's set up so women can't get as far as men.
No, it's because God created wombs.
So women should just, say suck it and have a child, suck it up and have a child?
Well, if you get pregnant, yes, because you don't get to kill things just because it's in your uterus.
It's my body. How about you just stay out of it?
How about it's dating?
How about
you don't get to kill it.
you're talking so much about how...
I don't care about your appendix. I don't care about your thorax. I don't even care about your uterus. I care about what's in it.
And I can take out my appendix if I don't want it, so why can't I take out other parts of my body?
Because they're not independent living human beings.
They're not independently living human beings when they're a bundle of cells.
Oh, okay. So let me get this. At what point? So okay, let's assume that your scientific knowledge is vast. Let's assume your scientific knowledge. So are you also against partial birth abortion?
I think I don't understand why people would have I'm
At
not...
what point does that bundle of cells become a human being in your view?
Sorry.
No, really. I mean, this is.
No, I just need to calm down for a second.
Sorry, did I
Do you want to go to another question?
No, I mean, that is the relevant question. If your argument is that it's a bundle of cells, then the question becomes when it's not a bundle of cells.
Unless it's a threat to the mother, they form maternal abortion, it shouldn't happen. But if it's a threat to the mother's health, or the mother, I don't see why he would force a living human being to give birth to that.
Because it's another living human being.
So you're going to kill the mother to save the baby? And
no, hold on. You're talking about a case where the mother's life is in danger. I don't know what you're talking about.
Care and stuff after they're born.
I agree with you that abortion is an exception when the mother's life is in danger.
But the concept of bodily autonomy means that I don't have to give up any part of my body unless I say so.
The baby is not part of your body. The baby is a baby. Really, my wife is pregnant right now, and she's 30 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
And 32. That baby is kicking the living crap out of her. Okay, that is a living human being in there. Okay, and I promise you that it is not a bundle of cells. Okay, I can guarantee you it's not a bundle of cells because that is a baby. Okay, and I'm sorry,
but it's a bundle of cells that is requiring.
You're technically a bundle of cells, right there.
You can say no. That is the concept of bodily autonomy. The entire concept of why
Okay, hold on. Okay, so
We have other questions that need to be asked. You have 10 minutes.
We've gone all down this, but here's the final point. Abortion is a very simple issue. If you believe, as you do apparently, that that's nothing in there but just a bunch of goo, then you're right. If you believe in something called science, that is more than a bundle of goo, then you do not get to kill it just because it's convenient to you. And let me tell you something.
No, science definitely dictates that a fetus, until it can leave the womb and be technically viable, is
What is
a
it?
bundle of cells inside a person.
Okay, so if you can only live on life support, you're not a person? You stop being a person. So if you get in a car crash today and put you on life support, you're on an iron lung, you take off the iron lung, you're gonna die. You're not a person anymore? Is that how this works?
If my brain is no longer functioning,
No, if your brain is functioning, but you can't breathe on your own.
then I'm still technically viable. Brain function.
No, you're not, because the machine's keeping you alive. Look, again, the bottom line is this. If you are defining whether something is a life or not based on your own convenience, that is the nature of evil. Okay, defining what a human being or not, whether something is a human being or not, based on whether you want it or not, is
You
nasty.
manipulate science to enhance your own.
You're the one manipulating science. You're the one suggesting that it's like snot.
You
Okay, it's
said
not
being
like
transparent with mental illness, when in fact the DSM-5, which is the definitive psychological examples of mental illness, has declassified
the
it.
DSM is highly politicized and has been for decades. And it was until 2 years ago, it was classified as gender identity disorder of mental illness. Okay, we can move on to questions.
Yeah, because you just don't like what we're saying.
No, see, the difference is I let you talk.
No, what's funny is you actually know my father, but you had the same conversations with him, and you shut him down too.
In what way have I shut you down? You've been talking for like 10 minutes here.
He's been talking, I've been talking, but you haven't actually answered our questions.
No, I did. You just don't like the answer, and I'm sorry if you don't like the answer. What's up?
Oh, no, I understand your answer, but
How about you let other people talk? Again, Ben, thanks for coming. Just had any specific positive trends with the issue you talked about, the election at large? Yeah. Anything positive? Any good news?
Any good news about the election? It'll be over in a few months. Honestly, that's about as good news as I can get. I'm very anti-Trump and obviously very anti-Hillary, so.
Got a question right here.
All right, so you're all about freedom of speech, but since conservatives get a little squeamish when we talk about sex, because God forbid we all do it, and it's a natural function.
I'm aware.
So you're talking about what defines a life or whatever. So scientifically speaking, do you consider semen life? So I'm pretty sure that you probably masturbate a lot because you're a human being. So
You well put, sir. I believe, as do most people who feel this way about abortion, that life begins at conception. When sperm meets egg and the child is conceived, that's when life begins. That's what I believe. The rest of the question was weird.
United States. The North has a very flattering view of itself. I mean, if you look at actually living patterns and where demographics live, the fact is, like Boston, significantly more segregated than most parts of Mississippi. But sorry, go ahead. So your question was?
My question is that they were enslaved and they're still.
Yes, of course. Still is the question. Right, so I've never denied, and I would never deny, because it would be idiotic, that blacks have been historically discriminated against in America in an unbelievable way, from slavery to Jim Crow. Of course that's true. Jim Crow was ended in the 1960s. The Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964. Last time I checked the calendar, it's now 2016. So it's been quite a while, and the fact is that the poverty rate in the black community was alleviating much more quickly before the rise of the Great Society, during Jim Crow actually, than it has since then. And to take another example, as I said, the single greatest indicator of intergenerational poverty is single motherhood. The increased rate of single motherhood is certainly not due to discrimination. And the proof of that is that during Jim Crow, the actual single motherhood rate in the black community was 20%. Today it's in excess of 70. What happened? Are people more racist now than they were back in 1960? Of course not. So you have to look to other factors for why people are behaving the way they are. So are there people who still suffer the after effects of historic discrimination? I think sure. I mean, the fact that if you don't have wealth from your grandfather because your grandfather couldn't be wealthy because he was a sharecropper in Alabama, yeah, of course. But that goes back to the earlier question, which is what can government do? What is government capable of doing without violating somebody else's rights? And the answer is not very much, other than guarantee that I don't get in your way. And the beautiful thing about America now is that nobody gives a crap about you, nobody gives a crap about anybody, and that's actually a good thing. Like, I don't think that I don't spend my nights trying to determine how I can keep people down. And nobody really in America does very much. And because of that, as long as people are leaving you alone, in a free country, it's your obligation to make your way. Now, I think that there's a myth that goes around that people can make it from poverty to extreme wealth in a generation. That happens, it does. And the fact is that according to the statistics, if you're in the bottom 20% of income earners, 95% of the people in the bottom 20% of income earners will be outside the bottom 20% of income earners within 15 years, according to the IRS statistics. That said, it's, rising to wealth as a family unit, for example, usually takes multiple generations. I mean, most of our great-grandparents, when they came here, were dirt poor, and now most of the people in this room are probably not, right? And so the fact that there is a delay in that process for a lot of black folks is tragic and horrible, but it doesn't mean there's a shortcut, not in a free country.
My question about your statistics on rape culture, don't you think that maybe a lot of women who experience this don't want to come forward? And if you don't mind me giving you an example, you're Jewish, so you know Long Island, New York. There was a case in Long Island, New York, where there was a pediatrician who, no, seriously, there was a,
No, I'm waiting to hear the case. Not everyone in Long Island is Jewish. Don't worry, I don't think you're an anti-Semite.
Thank you. But more importantly, in this town, it came forward that there was a few people that he molested, and then more people came forward, and it came out being dozens and dozens, and there was this whole escapade where people didn't even say anything until other people came forward.
Yes.
So don't you think that maybe people are scared to come forward, and that it's possible that those statistics could be not entirely as accurate?
Okay, so it's possible the statistics are somewhat low, but the idea that they are 244 low out of 250 is wrong, right? So there's a vast difference between 0.6% rape rate and 25% rape rate. So yes, if you're asking are there women, are there men who are raped, who are intimidated about coming forward, of course that's true. And of course we need to make it easier for people to come forward and report rape. I think, by the way, that it is also very important that in cases of rape that we fulfill an evidentiary standard, because when I'm talking about you have to castrate or kill people, they better damn well be guilty, right? So I want to make sure that the people who are convicted are certainly guilty. But that said, I think that one of the grave tragedies is that there's so many people who are raped who don't come forward, and then they talk later about the rapes that they've experienced. The world would be a lot better place if we could encourage those people to come forward. If they did come forward, I want rapists in jail. I don't want them out on the streets. So when people say rape culture, my problem is that it's just too vague. I don't know what that means. Who in the United States is pro-rape? I need to hear who out there really?
Well, I think that
Other than Bill Clinton.
Wouldn't you say though that, we're on college campus, I see a lot when I'm out, guys taking advantage of girls. I don't think they're thinking, let me go rape this girl, but couldn't you say that there's a very close narrative between...
I think there's an irresponsibility culture. I'm not sure that there's a rape culture. Okay. And what I mean by that is that, what you're talking about, first of all, if there is a culture, again, I don't know who's out there saying rape is good, but I think there are people out there saying that getting drunk and having sex with random people is good. And if that leads to a higher rape rate, if there's a correlation there, that's a problem, obviously. But the reason I don't like the term rape culture is not because I'm pro-rape, it's because I'm anti-rape. I think that we should make very clear that rape needs to be stopped.
But the idea that everybody out there is on the verge of raping women, which is sort of what rape culture suggests, is just not true, and it's a slander against men.
All right, thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Hey, I'm just stopping by to remind you that liberals are insane. Social justice warriors are becoming more violent and triggered than ever before. Anyways, be sure to subscribe to KGP TV on YouTube and have a blessed day. Yeah, man.
I don't think that killing babies is the solution to you making bad sexual decisions. End of story. I mean, I don't think that, I don't see why, the unsuccessful decision that you made was the decision to have sex out of wedlock and then get pregnant out of wedlock. That decision is not alleviated by killing the product.
So, since you're gonna say mothers are forced to be parents, should you then also incite like laws or something like that, since you're gonna force these women to be parents, that force men to be fathers?
Well,
And
there
not
already
fathers?
are. It's called paternity tests.
They're not
and
fathers
laws.
because they walk out and leave their kids, and then you have this, as you cite.
Yes, absolutely, I'm in favor of that. It's called marriage, and the left undermined it. It was awesome. The system of marriage was the greatest boon to women of all time, and then feminism came along and said women need men like fish need a bicycle, and it turns out that women need men like women need men.
That's because we live in a society that's set up so women can't get as far as men.
No, it's because God created wombs.
So women should just, say suck it and have a child, suck it up and have a child.
Well, if you get pregnant, yes, because you don't get to kill things just because it's in your uterus.
It's my body, how about you just stay out of it?
How about it's dating, you
How
don't
about
get
like,
to kill it
you're
because it's in
talking
there.
so much about how.
I don't care about your appendix. I don't care about your thorax. I don't even care about your uterus. I care about what's in it. the
And I can
child.
take out my appendix if I don't want it, so why can't I take out other parts of my body?
Because they're not independent living human beings.
They're not independently living human beings when they're a bundle of cells.
Oh, okay. So let me get this. At what point? So okay, let's build cells because that is a baby. Okay, and I'm sorry,
Technically a bundle of cells that is requiring.
but you're technically a bundle of cells, right?
You can say no. That is the concept of bodily autonomy. The entire concept of why we
Okay, hold on. Okay, so
We have other questions that need to be asked. You have 10 minutes.
we can go on all down this, but here's the final point. Abortion is a very simple issue. If you believe, as you do apparently, that that's nothing in there but just a bunch of goo, then you're right. If you believe in something called science, that is more than a bundle of goo, then you do not get to kill it just because it's convenient to you. And let me tell you something.
No, science definitely dictates that a fetus, until it can leave the womb and be technically viable, is
What is
still
it?
a bundle of cells inside a person.
Okay, so if you can only live on life support, you're not a person. You stop being a person. So if you get in a car crash today and put you on life support, you're on an iron lung. You take off the iron lung, you're going to die. You're not a person anymore. Is that how this works?
If my brain is no longer functioning,
No, if your brain is functioning, but you can't breathe on your own.
then I'm still technically viable. Brain function.
No, you're not, because the machine is keeping you alive. Look, again, the bottom line is this. If you are defining whether something is a life or not based on your own convenience, that is the nature of evil. Okay, defining what a human being or not, whether something is a human being or not, based on whether you want it or not, is
You
nasty.
manipulate science to enhance your own.
You're the one manipulating science. You're the one suggesting that it's like snot.
You
Okay, it's
said
not
being
like
transparent with mental illness, when in fact the DSM-5, which is the definitive psychological examples of mental illness, has declassified
The
it.
DSM is highly politicized and has been for decades. And it was until 2 years ago, it was classified as gender identity disorder of mental illness. Okay, we can move on to questions.
Yeah, because you just don't like what we're saying.
No, see, the difference is I let you talk.
No, what's funny is you actually know my father, but you had the same conversations with him, and you shut him down too.
In what way have I shut you down? You've been talking for like 10 minutes here.
He's been talking, I've been talking, but you haven't actually answered our questions.
No, I did. You just don't like the answer. And I'm sorry if you don't like the answer. What's up?
Oh, no, I understand your answer, but
How about you let other people talk?
Again, Ben, thanks for coming. Just had any specific positive trends with issues you talked about, the election at large? Yeah. Anything positive? Any good news?
Any good news about the election? It'll be over in a few months. Honestly, that's about as good news as I can get. I'm very anti-Trump, and I'm obviously very anti-Hillary, so.
Got a question right here.
All right, so you're all about freedom of speech.
Before this video starts, I'd just like to make an announcement. I have the Liberal Tears mug for $14.99 on my website. It is the first link in the description if you want to go pick one up. Don't worry if it breaks when it comes to your house. I'll send you another one for free out of my pocket. I don't care. I want you to get your Liberal Tear mug. It comes in Liberal Tears white with the face, black with the face, white without the face, and black without the face. So pick whichever one you want, and it'll come to your door in about 3 to 5 days. So that should be epic. First link in the description. Thank you. Let's go on with the video.
Okay. So you mentioned how people aren't victims of circumstance.
As a general rule, some people are, obviously.
But how do you explain people who aren't given access to certain things and stuff and therefore cannot advance? Like, you cite like single mothers and stuff like that, and then fathers leaving them.
Mm-hmm.
And women, oftentimes, you see it all across the country, Planned Parenthood clinics being closed down and stuff, and they can't get access to contraceptives or abortion and stuff that would stop them from being in that situation. But you think that somehow they should just help themselves, but when in fact...
Condoms cost 35 cents. I think they can help themselves. I mean, that's the idea that contraceptives are not available in the United States is absurd. It's absurd. I'm sorry. It's crazy. The idea that you can't get cheap or free condoms anywhere. Assume that your scientific knowledge is vast. Let's assume your scientific knowledge. So, are you also against partial birth abortion?
I think I don't understand why people would have I'm not...
At what point does that bundle of cells become a human being in your view?
Sorry.
No, really, I mean, this is...
No, I just need to calm down for a second.
Sorry, did I
Do you want to go to another question?
No, I mean, that is a relevant question. If your argument is that it's a bundle of cells, then the question becomes when it's not a bundle of cells.
Like, unless it's a threat to the mother, they form term abortion shouldn't happen. But if it's a threat to the mother's health or the mother, I don't see why he would force a living human being to give birth to that.
Because it's another living human being.
So you're going to kill the mother to save the baby? And
no, hold on. You're talking about a case where the mother's life is in danger. I don't know what you're talking about.
Care and stuff after they're born.
I agree with you that abortion is an exception when the mother's life is in danger.
But the concept of bodily autonomy means that I don't have to give up any part of my body unless I say so.
The baby is not part of your body. The baby is a baby. Really, my wife is pregnant right now, and she's 30 weeks pregnant. Yeah. Actually 32. That baby is kicking the living crap out of her. Okay, that is a living human being in there. Okay, and I promise you that it is not a bundle of cells. Okay, I can guarantee you it's not a bundle.